a fundamentally sound defensive catcher.
Did a great job yesterday with Mike Messina.
3-2. He walked him. That was close.
No, he didn't walk him. I think the umpire missed that one. That was a good pitch. And you don't hear me say that very often.
Yeah, I was waiting for the right hand to kind of shoot out like that, but it was never there. Home plate umpire Andy Fletcher did not call that a strike, and I believe it was. And Joe Torre believes it was too. You got to lobby right from the beginning of the game. Maybe get some close ones down the line.
Here's Milton Bradley, and the pitch is a strike. Bradley's had a great first half, and one of the great arguments about, gee, should this guy be in the All-Star team? Well, 346, 7 homers and 40 runs batted in. Low and away. Milton Bradley is third amongst AL batting leaders. Melvin Moore, very unlikely with the Orioles, 361. Then Ichiro, 349. There's Bradley, 346. Garcia Parra, 329. And Hank Blaylock is fifth at 328.
You know, the type of year that Bradley's having now, he's batted first, third, and fourth in the Indians lineup. His last 72 games, he has reached safely in 69 of them. So he's been able to put pressure on the opposition from any spot in the lineup that they use him.
Foul the other way.
Kenny, don't you think, I mean, as a young player, you get to the major leagues, you go out, it doesn't matter where they put you in the lineup. You just want to go out and play. Whereas you become a veteran player and you get used to hitting in certain positions and certain places in the lineup. And Joe Torre is very good at trying to keep the lineup as constant as he can, as you just get used to the routine that you do. It can be the time the game gets going to when you go to the plate. It's just what you get used to doing.
1-2. Foul back.
You know, you batted third for a number of years, and I batted third. One thing I liked about batting third, I knew I was going to hit in the first inning. Now, I'd like to have two men on, but it didn't work every time. But I knew I was going to hit in the first inning.
You're exactly right. And you're running your sprints before the game. Could be 2 or 3 minutes before the game. You're running them harder than everybody else because you know darn well in 10 minutes you're going to be standing at the plate. Might be a guy on first and second, be the biggest at bat of the night.
Bradley had a good swing at that one. Bradley's had a good year both offensively and a semi-good year defensively. He's misjudged a few fly balls and Sarah had a good rip at that. That kind of hung.
Eddie Murray, the batting coach for the Indians. And the 1-2. Just missed, and you can see Jeff Weaver's body language is saying, hey, give me a break, Andy Fletcher.
You saw Eddie Murray. He's fresh from the reunion game last week in Baltimore. He was fortunate enough or unfortunate enough to hit a double in that game because he came back, he said his legs were hurting.
And he is in this year's Hall of Fame class as well. The 2-2. He struck him out. Nice pitch on the outside corner. 2 away.
That's 94 miles an hour on the outside corner. I mean, he's not going to get hit when the ball's running and sinking at 94 miles an hour. It's when you get it up, out over the plate and give that guy a chance to get the barrel of the ball.
That one had some good movement on it. He does have great movement on his fastball, tailing away from Milton Bradley. And Milton, his game was upset a little bit right there.
Oh, you're well rested, aren't you?
Yeah, 3 days off.
There's Jody Garrett. And there's a strike. Garrett is probably their best defensive outfielder, but he's been hobbled somewhat by a tweaked hamstring, so he's the DH today. Has a 9-game hitting streak, 11 for 34 during that time. We're in the bottom of the first inning. Yankees did not score in the top of the inning. And that one's driven out to right center field and deep. Giving chase is Matsui on the run on the track, and it's up against the wall, and Karam's out. Matt Lawton rounds third. He's coming home. Here's the throw. Not in time. An RBI double for Jody Garrett, and the Indians are on the board. They lead the Yankees 1-0.
Again, just an example. I mean, you make a couple great pitches, you strike out, then it's almost like you take a deep breath. You got 2 outs, and you put a pitch right over the middle of the plate where a guy can get wood on it, and before you know it, you've given up a run in the first inning.
Well, Garrett is now hitting 10 straight games, if I'm not mistaken, and he's been like a breath of fresh air.
Missed a 2-run home run there by about a foot, the height of a foot. Here's Casey Blake. Ball with movement, dives down and away. Garrett now with a 10-game hitting streak. Davey Cruz of the Orioles has the longest current streak at 11 straight.
Michael, you mentioned Garrett as the DH. Now, you also mentioned he's a very good outfielder. But Cleveland is trying to trade Matt Lawton if they can. He makes a pretty good piece of change, and they want to move him along. So that's why they're playing Matt Lawton in the outfield to show teams that he's decent defensively.
Good luck moving Matt Lawton. He just signed last year he signed a 4-year, $27 million deal, which is probably the last of the outrageous deals that average players are going to get. And Mark Shapiro, the GM of the Indians, knows he made a mistake, and it's going to be very hard to move him and not have to eat a lot of the salary. In fact, the Indians signed him because they said to themselves, you know what we're going to do? We're going to rebuild and contend at the same time, which is nearly impossible. And they realized that, and they realized it was a mistake to give him that kind of money. There's a strike.
Casey Blake at the plate is the reigning American League Player of the Week. He had a great week last week at 4 home runs, drove in 14 runs. That's a pretty good week.
3-2, fouled away.
And I talked to Eddie Murray about him, his hitting coach, and Eddie said one thing we're getting Blake to do is to turn on the ball a little bit better. He was kind of one of these hitters that pushed everything off of himself. Now when the pitch is in, he's jerking it down the left field line and going deep. 375 with 4 homers and 14 ribbies. It's Eddie Murray with the Hall of Fame credentials going into the Hall of Fame this year.
Foul back. You know, talking about Matt Lawton possibly being traded, he had a very good week and a half at one point. He got a letter from a 95-year-old woman who's a very big Indians fan. And she said, I want to congratulate you on your great stretch. Please keep it up because I hate you and I hope they trade you.
Those always make you feel good. And we've all got letters like that, whether you're hitting or you're not hitting. Somebody out there hates you.
You can't please everybody.
The 3-2. Grounded up the middle and under the glove of Almonte and into center field. Jody Garrett will score an RBI seeing eye single by Casey Blake, and the Indians lead 2-0. Well, not a lot of range shown there by Eric Almonte.
Well, you make the play or you don't make the play. You just make sure you knock the ball down and keep the ball in the infield, keep that run from scoring. You give Jeff Weaver an opportunity to try to get out of it with a man on third instead of letting this run score.
You know, right now I'm thinking back to the pitch to Lawton that wasn't called a strike. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking about.
Jeff Weaver might be thinking the same thing. You know, it just sometimes it can be a pitch or a call or something that all of a sudden you lose your concentration for 5 or 10 minutes and boom, you know, you've given up a couple runs.
Now going through the signs, whether the throw over or not, as Blake leads off first. Here's Ben Broussard, and the pitch is high.
You know the signs, Michael, by now?
I can't really say.
Some people can pick those signs up immediately. I was just wondering with your baseball knowledge if you've already picked those up.
It's been about 17 years now. I don't know one of them yet. There's a strike. This is the 5th straight start that Weaver has given up runs in the first inning. Given up now 13 runs in 16 starts in the first inning. Weaver about to throw his 29th pitch. Swing and a miss.
There's a couple of reasons why that happens. Number one, a pitcher can't bring his warm-up to the mound and get restarted again in a game fashion. Number two, you're facing the lineup the way the opposition manager wants his lineup set. You're facing it 1, 2, 3, just like that. So that's the way they feel the best that they can score.
That is laced into left field. That's going to be a base hit in front of Karim Garcia. The fourth base hit of the inning as Casey Blake moves to second.
You know, mentally, this game can really get to you. There's no doubt about it. And you can see Jeff Weaver, his reaction to every pitch, to every hit. He's just uncomfortable. He is like the whole world's against him at times. And sometimes as a player, when you're out there and you go through tough times, you just feel like nothing good can happen. And it almost becomes a mental thing where you don't believe that good things are going to happen for you.
Now here's baseball's version of the standing 8 count as Mel Stottlemyre out to the mound to give Jeff Weaver a breather with 2 outs here. And I think what Mel should be saying too, now remember the last game against the Mets, you gave up a 3-run homer in the first inning. That was your bad inning. Make this tonight, this first inning, your bad inning. Plenty of time for the team to recover and score some runs for you.
So Mel has his say. And the Indians have runners on first and second, 2 runs already in. Here's Victor Martinez. The Indians catcher and the number 7 hitter in the lineup. Just missed. It looks like Andy Fletcher has a fairly tight strike zone.
He did on that 3-2 pitch to Matt Lawton.
The 1-0. Chop foul.
Here's another product of the Cleveland farm system. Victor Martinez, a switch hitting catcher they feel is going to be around for a long time. Good defensive catcher. Good quick feet and hands. Switch hitting catcher. Who's that remind you of? Jorge Posada, the all-star American League catcher of the Yankees.
And the 1-1. Outside.
You can just tell you're playing a young team that's excited to come out and play the game. The guys leading off the base are getting great leads, running back to the base. I mean, Bradley on the 3rd out, the pitcher last inning ran off the field when he struck out Giambi. I mean, they're just excited to be out here. And that's part of the youth of a team. And I'm sure that Wedge loves to see that in his players day in and day out.
Well, Wedge has kind of had these guys in the minors. He managed at Buffalo the last 2 years and finished 2nd and 1st in those years. And that certainly did a lot to help him get the job here in Cleveland.
What a great transition for players to come with the same manager. And it's a good, it's a credit to the organization. The Indians did that. I mean, a lot of people would say, how can you give this guy a manager's job here? But who knows these players better than the guy who has managed them through the minor leagues?
Weaver finally gets a call. Martinez thought it was ball 4. You decide. It was right at the knees. Fletcher said strike. So now it's a 3-2 count. The runners will go with 2 outs. Blake from second, Broussard from first. There they go. Swung on and missed, and Martinez down on a high fastball. So Weaver works out of further trouble. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. We played 1 at Jacobs Field. 2-0 Indians. Jeff Weaver threw 36 pitches in the first inning, and the Indians have a 2-0 lead. You see the Larry Doby patch on the right sleeve of the Cleveland Indians to honor the first black player in the American League, and he started here with the Cleveland Indians. Also the number 18 to honor Mel Harder. But Larry Doby, one of the class individuals that died a couple of weeks ago, and he had a great impact on Major League Baseball.
Yeah, a long battle with cancer. Doby, a Hall of Fame center fielder, as Michael mentioned, first black player in the American League a few months after Jackie Robinson broke in with the Brooklyn Dodgers. Doby here in Cleveland became a staple in center field and eventually had a Hall of Fame career. And every once in a while you hook up with a coach during your career, and Larry Doby was that coach for me that taught me what type of hitter I should be. When I was playing with the Montreal Expos, we would work every day in the batting cage prior to a game. And he told me, he said, you're the type of hitter you can hit. In those days when you hit 20 home runs, it meant something, and still hit 300. He said, but you shouldn't rely on hitting 300 or 20 home runs. Don't try and hit more than 20 because one will suffer. And that's basically the type of hitter I was.
1-1 count to Posada. I talked to Bob Feller when Larry Doby passed away, and Feller told me that Doby was a better player than Jackie Robinson. He said that Jackie Robinson got all the publicity because he was the first, but Larry Doby actually was a better player. Swing and a miss on a change, 1 and 2, and that could be argued back and forth. Larry Doby, 13 seasons with the Indians, 283, 253 homers, almost 1,000 ribbies. First black player in the AL, 7-time All-Star, voted to the Hall of Fame in '98, and he won the World Series in 1948, and his number 14 retired by the Indians in 1994. Ground ball to first, Broussard fields, flips to Traber, 1 away. So Posada with the ground out, and that'll bring up Hideki Matsui. Along with Paul O'Neil and Ken Singleton, I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball here on the Yes Network on this Tuesday evening, and we certainly thank you. Derek Jeter's also watching Yankee baseball, which is a very odd situation for him. He's been injured too much this year for his liking. About a month and a half with the dislocated left shoulder, and now that right hand problem. It's not broken, but it was too much pain for him to play today. He tried to swing in the batting cage and quickly stepped out and turned it over to Eric Almonte. Derek Jeter's actually been hit 69 times in his career over 68 games, and only twice did he not play the next day because of being struck by a pitch.
I saw Derek in the locker room when I came in, and his hand was swollen. You could tell it was sore. You know, you said it, Michael. He's missed games. You want to get out there and play, and you know, basically, if you can't go out and play at the level you're used to doing, Joe Torre is not going to let you go out there. And as a player, I mean, you show up tonight, you're ready to go out and play, and physically you can't do it. It can become frustrating.
There's a ground ball to second base. Brandon Phillips is there, 2 away.
And each time that Derek Jeter missed the game, those 2 previous times, he only missed 1 game. So it'll be interesting to see what will happen tomorrow night when the Yankees face CC Sabathia here in Cleveland.
It is amazing he does not miss more games because he gets hit on the hand a lot. He dives into the plate, and even if a pitcher's not throwing in on purpose, he can dive into an inside strike, and he gets struck an awful lot, but he is pretty resilient.
Yeah, one reason why he hits the ball so well to the opposite field, because he will go out there and get the ball and hit it the other way. And you have to, you know, get all over that inside corner to do it.
Here's Ruben Sierra. Now, a lot of talk yesterday after the game whether Pedro Martinez hit them on purpose. Now, obviously don't think that happened. I think he's trying to just move them off the plate. Do you think pitchers ever hit somebody on purpose?
Do they ever?
Yes.
Well, of course they do.
Oh, yeah.
There's no doubt about that. I just there's no doubt in my mind that in the first inning of a big game, you're not going to go out and drill the first couple players.
So you think he was just working in?
I think that he came out and he was a little excited to get out and pitch in Yankee Stadium. And he let a couple. I think he intentionally came in. There's no doubt in my mind that he was trying to throw in and get them off the plate. But to hit guys in the first inning of a big game, I don't go for it.
Grounded to third, fielded on the glove side by Blake. Across the diamond, nice switch of the feet by Broussard, and that'll do it for the Yankees here in the second. 3 ground balls by Billy Traber. And all Derek Jeter and Alfonso Soriano can do is watch. Nice play by Blake. We go to the bottom of the second. 2-0 Indians. The New York Yankees, the world's most successful sports franchise, are celebrating their historic 100th anniversary in 2003. On Thursday afternoon, July 24th, all fans 14 and under are going to receive a 100th anniversary T-shirt courtesy of Majestic Athletic. Come out to Yankee Stadium and join in the celebration of 100 years of greatness. Saturday night at 7:30 on Yes, catch the premiere of an all-new Yankeeography profiling Yankees Hall of Famer Catfish Hunter. Get an inside look at the life and the career of this Cy Young Award winner who led the Yanks to 3 straight pennants in the late 70s. Yankee fans won't want to miss the premiere of Yankeeography Catfish Hunter Saturday at 7:30, and that is only on Yes. Ricky Gutierrez leads off against Jeff Weaver here in the bottom of the second and takes a first pitch strike. Swings at the next one, dribbles it slowly to third. Tough hop for Zeal. Fields fires, got him. Nice play by Todd Zeal.
You look at those old clips of as you look at this play here. Zeal makes a good play here. I mean, not being out there every day, this is a tough play coming in. If you bobble it, he's going to be safe. Good, solid play.
Be careful when you say old clips, because that was on that team that the Yankees were playing.
I was just going to say,
yeah.
I mean, he doesn't throw the ball by you. He just been a smart pitcher. You faced him.
Yeah.
I mean, why was he so good?
He's a comfortable 0 for 4.
And Brandon Phillips, sharp ground ball is short. Almonte, 2 away.
Now, Catfish was very good at changing speeds. He threw a little bit harder when he wanted to come inside, and you had the sinking fastball away. He would let you hit the ball as hard as you want, but anytime you hit a long fly ball, it was usually to center field.
Right.
And Mickey Rivers would run it down.
So Jeff Weaver gets 2 easy outs here in the second. That'll bring up Coco Crisp.
You hope this guy hits 6 or 7 times tonight, Michael, don't you?
No, I'm done with all the name stuff.
He's going to have cereal for breakfast tomorrow, though.
Crisp led off with a single in the first inning, but was caught stealing. Coco Crisp is a product of the RBI program, the Inner Cities baseball program. And there was an interesting story in Sports Illustrated last week by Tom Verducci that the number of African Americans has dropped precipitously in baseball. And there are several reasons for it, which he tried to detail. But the bottom line is the percentage has gone down quite a bit over the last 10 years.
That is very true. And the guys that are left, you know, to get near the end of their careers, like Barry Bonds and Ken Griffey Jr. I think one reason is because, you know, black players have a tendency to gravitate towards other sports. And I think the RBI program itself is not really so much a developmental type program. You have academies in the Caribbean countries, in the Latin countries, but you don't really have academies in the inner cities.
2-2. Hit sharply to second base. Wilson's right there. And a 1-2-3 inning for Jeff Weaver. And baseball is building its first academy, like the one that Ken's talking about, in Los Angeles, and that could go a long way toward helping. We go to the third.
This season, my teammates and I are going to work as hard as we can with hopes that our fans will log on to Yankees.com and vote for one of us as the Continental Airlines Work Hard, Fly Right Player of the Year. We're dedicated to putting in those extra hours on the field, in the clubhouse, and everywhere else.
Programs here.
So log on to Yankees.com and be eligible to win a trip to a Yankees away game. Continental Airlines, work hard, fly right.
Come on home. Come on.
On an all-new Yankeeography, the story of big game pitcher Catfish Hunter.
The good old boy who happened to be the standard for greatness in the game at the time.
Yankeeography Catfish Hunter premieres Saturday at 7:30 only on Yes.
Hey, come out to Yankee Stadium on Sunday, July 20th, as all fans in attendance are going to receive a 1947 World Series replica pin courtesy of Chase. Now, don't miss out, because this is one of the final 2 pins in this memorable 26-piece collection. For tickets, visit the stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops. Call Ticketmaster at 212-307-1212 or log on to Yankees.com. We go to the third inning. Traber has retired the first 6 Yankees in a row. Here's John Flaherty. And that one is fouled back. We talked a little bit about this in the pregame show, and you wonder if what we're seeing, not taking anything away from Traber, might be a little bit of a hangover from the Yankees, where they have just played 4 games, each game in front of 55,000 people against the team that's behind them in the standings. Is there a little bit of a competitive hangover, you wonder?
I think the hangovers, part of it is they haven't seen Traber before. This is his first start ever against the Yankees, and I think it takes a little bit of a, you know, an adjustment period anytime you face a pitcher for the first time. So he's going through the order for the first time right here and doing a good job of it. I believe that has something to do with it.
How do you deal with the hangover if it is a hangover? How do you know if it's a hangover or the pitcher?
Well, I think that you show up to play, and as a player, when you're on the field and you're hitting or you're out in the outfield, you know, I don't think you get into a zone where you don't know how many people are there. It's not something that you know, you show up to play hard when it's packed, and you don't, you know, when nobody's in the stands. So you know, that's one of the big things about playing 162 games is being able to come, as we watch a base hit, good start to the inning by Flaherty, is you come to the ballpark no matter who you're playing, who you're facing on a given day, to go out and consistently go out and be ready to play baseball.
But isn't that pie in the sky, Paul? Can you feel the same way batting up against a Billy Traber as you did against Pedro Martinez? Isn't there a lack of juice?
I don't think so. And Kenny, I think you'll agree. When you're in that batter's box, every at bat it can mean something.
Yeah,
and if you're too high on one day and too low on the next, consistency is just not going to be there. And over the long haul, that's all that matters.
Yeah, your concentration level has to be at its max every time you step in there, or else you could get hurt. And you don't really hear the crowd. You know, you're right, Michael. Some nights there's more juice in the stadium, though. There's more energy.
Pitch to Garcia, swung on a miss.
But whether there's 3 people in the stands or, or 50,000, when you step in there, you got to have your mind set on one thing. That's getting on base.
Look at the difference. Karim Garcia, 24 games with Cleveland this year, 194. Since coming to the Yankees, 433. And he was an afterthought in the trade that got them Danny Maselli. They also threw in Karim Garcia, and he has done a great job.
You talk about pressure hitting, Mike. I mean, as a player, when I stepped in the box, I knew if I didn't get a hit, you'd be talking about me up here.
Killing.
I mean, that's when you're up here with the microphone in your hand and I'm down there and can't listen to what you're saying. I mean, you better get a hit.
I'm flattered that you were thinking about me on the field.
Yeah.
That's why I never said anything, Paul, because, I've struck out before. Many times.
Broken back ground ball to first. Let's see if they turn 2. There's 1, and they can't get the throw off. So 1 away. A 3-6 fielder's choice.
The first thing you think about a young team is, boom, can they play defense? Can they make the plays? It looks like, good play at first base, gives him a good throw. Just like he bobbles the ball, can't quite get it out of his glove, and it handcuffs him and he can't get the throw off, and that cost him an out. That's an extra out for this inning.
Yeah, the Indians have made more errors than their opposition. They've made 72. They're among the league leaders in errors. And you will get that with young players because sometimes they take their hitting out to the field with them. You don't hit for a while, you don't feel for a while either.
Here's Eric Almonte. He was called up and activated before the game as the Yankees sent Juan Rivera down to Columbus. Almonte was out since May 18th with a right knee sprain, and he got that knee sprain right after he was sent down when Derek Jeter came back off the DL. Now, Almonte did a pretty good job for the Yankees. Remember, they got off to a great start. He was shaky defensively, but he did hit .272 for them, a home run and 11 runs batted in, but he committed 9 errors in the field. But they didn't suffer. Remember, they got off to a 16-4 start. In fact, I believe it got to 20-4 at one point. So they really sucked it up with the loss of Jeter. And then Almonte was sent down to Columbus and hurt the knee. And he has actually been playing in the Gulf Coast Rookie League team for the Yankees, rehabbing. And that's where he came from as he was called up here to the Yankees.
Almonte did not get his number back that he had the first time. He was wearing number 11. Gone up a few notches here.
Curtis Pride has number 11 right now, standing next to Derek Jeter. He had some weekend at Yankee Stadium, the home run on Saturday, and then he hit the hard ground ball that was botched by Todd Walker that allowed Hideki Matsui to score in the bottom of the 9th last night. Grounded deep to third. Backhanded play there by Blake, and they get the force at second. That's a nice play by Casey Blake. Ball was tailing away from him. He actually fielded the ball in foul territory.
Again, falling away from it. He's got no chance to get the guy at first. I mean, his immediate reaction to go to second, but to make a good throw there. That's the important thing.
Boy, Garcia really went into second hard. Might have banged his knee up against the bag. But he made sure that Phillips couldn't get the throw off. Looks like he's okay. And here's Enrique Wilson. Swings at the first pitch, pops it up right side. Brandon Phillips in short right field. He'll put it away for the final out of the inning. So for the Yankees in the third, no runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. Garcia playing it hard, going into Phillips hard, and going into the bag hard. We go to the third. The New York Yankees, the world's most successful sports franchise, are celebrating their historic 100th anniversary in 2003. On Sunday, July 20th, all fans in attendance will receive a 1947 World Series pin from Chase. This is one of the final 2 pins in this memorable 26-piece collection. Come out to Yankee Stadium and join in the celebration of 100 years of greatness. Hey, Yankee fans, Yankees.com shop has the best selection of Yankees gear, including caps, pullovers, and lots more. Visit Yankees.com and shop online today at the official site of the New York Yankees. We go to the bottom of the 3rd inning, and here is Matt Lawton to lead it off. Lawton walked and scored in the 1st inning. Pitch is outside. Weaver had his usual 1st inning troubles as the Indians pushed across 2 runs, then pitched the 1-2-3 second. Grounded to 1st, and off the glove of Giambi. Backing up is Wilson. No play. That's an E3. Giambi doesn't have the greatest range, but he's usually quite sure-handed at first. That time he booted it.
That looked like he had it all lined up, but the ball somehow got off the heel of his glove. Every once in a while, a ball will take a little twist on a hop, and it looked like he got over a little bit closer to the line, and the ball kind of stayed to his right.
Yeah, sometimes you hit that ball off the end of the bat, which it looked like he did. You put a spin on the ball, and it actually takes a hop to the side or not, and it just fooled him a little bit.
Here's Milton Bradley, and that one is driven out into left center field. Giving chase is Karim Garcia. He's there, and he puts it away for the 1st out of the inning. And here's Jody Garrett, who had an RBI double to right center. Just missed a 2-run home run in the 1st inning. Snap throw to 1st. Lawton held there by Giambi, who just committed his 2nd error of the season.
Indians just drafted a catcher out of Stanford University, Ryan Garco. They just signed him. Jody Garrett is from Stanford University. One of the big baseball powerhouses.
Mike Messina, also a Stanford guy. You wonder what Jody Garrett talks about with the guys in the clubhouse, since he majored in U.S. and Russian history.
Wow. Strasvice, something like that, right?
He talks about the purchase of Alaska, which I thought was quite a deal for us.
Lopsided.
Yeah, lopsided deal.
Right before he reported the spring training in 1999, he had to finish a 20-page paper on Soviet patent laws.
Wow. I didn't know there was such a thing.
So you know that he's in the clubhouse making those indigestion sounds that you hear so much.
Oh, man.
You just, I mean, when you're writing that paper, don't you just wonder why? Who's going to read this? Why are we going to read this? Why am I going through this? I could be out taking batting practice, right?
Slice foul.
Ouch.
You know, I spoke to him before the game. Well-spoken young man.
In English, not Russian.
Well, not Russian, but he was very polite.
Well, the smarts runs in his family because his sister happens to be a newspaper reporter for a Jersey newspaper. And he says she breaks all kind of stories.
Do you know what paper she writes for? Or?
You know, I wasn't able to find that out. I'm going to find it out tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
He's had a good rookie season at this point, 282. You ever regret not going to college, Paul?
No.
Going right to the Reds?
No. I mean,
You had a scholarship, right?
yeah, I had opportunities to go to college, but my dream since I was 4 or 5 years old was to play in the major leagues. And so for me to go to college, I was going to college to play baseball. And when I was drafted, I had an opportunity to go straight into playing, and that's what I wanted to do. Kind of had to cross my fingers behind my back because my mom promised, you know, you'll still go to school, get an education, right? And I put my hands behind my back, crossed my fingers, and said, I will, Mom, I promise. Let's sign today and let's get going.
Wow. Did you ever take one course?
Yeah. In the off season, a couple years, I took courses, and I promised I'd go until I made it to the major leagues, which made me play harder and harder to get there, so I didn't have to take those off season courses anymore.
Yeah, I didn't finish either. I did go, but I didn't finish.
Really?
And, you know, my parents thought I was nuts for leaving school, but, you know, a couple of years later, I'm in the big leagues, and I didn't think I was so stupid anymore.
Now, Ken, did you blatantly lie to your mom like Paul did?
Oh, there you go. Hey, we're in Ohio, man. My mom could be listening. Hang on here.
The 2-2 is grounded to short. That could be 2. There's 1. And not in time. Almonte and Wilson kind of had to try to avoid each other, and that might have cost the Yankees the double play.
Here's another look, and all of a sudden, Almonte decides he's going to take it himself, and I think that little indecision was the difference here. He's thinking about flipping it to Wilson, changes his mind, steps on the bag. Remember, these guys haven't worked much together. Then to throw on the first, and there's the difference right there. The split second allows Garrett to beat the ball, beat the relay to first base. Remember, he's got a semi-flat tire there with a bad hamstring, but is still able to beat the relay.
Must be very odd watching somebody play your position. That's what Jeter's doing. But assuming the role of captain right there on the top step of the dugout. Pitch to Casey Blake is a strike. Two nothing. Indians lead. We're in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Blake had an RBI single under the glove of Almonte in the first. Gives Almonte another shot, and Almonte boots it. And that's the 10th error of the year for Eric Almonte.
Now, you might say there's no harm because Cleveland has not scored. There might be a final out. They don't. But what happens, even with this, your pitcher has to work a little harder to get out of the inning. You know, Jeff Weaver should be in the dugout now resting and letting his teammates try to get him back into the ball game. But the fact is now he's going to have to work harder to Broussard with the runner in scoring position, and that takes a little bit more out of you as a pitcher.
Well, he's now faced 2 batters he really didn't have to face. They should have turned that double play where he didn't have to face Blake. And then the ground ball by Blake should have been the final out. So he's facing Broussard. And also the error by Lawton. This has been a tough inning for Jeff Weaver. And let's see if he can pick up his teammates, as they say.
You know, the way you look at that, and you're right, Ken, if he gets out the inning, it's forgotten about. But as a manager, if you're Joe Torre and you look out there and is this kid ready for the big leagues, and he makes a play like that, on a 1-to-1 game in the 9th, you know, you gotta know your shortstop's going to make those plays, and that's what playing in the minor leagues and getting ready to play up here does.
Wilson makes that play, and that will do it in the 3rd inning. So Weaver had to throw a lot more pitches than he should have. No runs, no hits, 2 errors, and 2 men left. We go to the 4th, 2-0 Indians.
So hot, it's worth watching twice, and you'll see it all on Yankees Encore. When the game is over, relive the great plays of 2003 Yankees baseball. Because once is not enough, there's Yankees Encore, only on Yes.
We go to the 4th inning, top of the 4th. That means it's time for the Aflac trivia question. Billy Traber, the starter for the Indians, was the Mets' first-round selection in the 2000 draft. Who is the only other active player selected in the first round that year? Now, Kenny confidently said during the commercial break he knows this one for sure. He'll tell us in the bottom of the 4th, right? You don't want to give it away now.
No, but let's put it this way. That player was also a first-round selection.
Okay.
And it's not going to help you anyway, Mike.
No, I know it, too. There's a pitch to Zeal, a strike. You know, Traber was a first-round selection, as the quiz said, of the Mets, and they offered him a $1.7 million signing bonus. And they were negotiating. He didn't turn it down, but they were negotiating. And while they were negotiating, They took a little bit of an x-ray on his arm and said, whoa, wait a minute. Got some elbow problems here. We dropped that to 425. So he lost about 1.3 just on one little see-through picture.
Why did he agree to have the picture?
I don't know.
You know,
I guess they did a standard examination of him.
That's not. You don't have to be examined by anybody.
Well, what if the team says we're not signing you unless you do?
See ya.
Yeah, I don't think they can do that.
Well, they did it, and they took his money away.
I didn't have a physical in 1981 before I was drafted.
Not at all?
No, I didn't have one either.
But were you guys first-round draft picks talking about that kind of money?
No, not that type of money.
Now you're trying to slap us in the face.
No,
We
no.
weren't first-round draft picks. All
Kenny,
right?
you were.
Yeah, I was.
All right.
You're
I was
the
a
only one who
scrub.
got
I was in the
slapped.
third.
No, I think that when you're talking those kind of dollars, they probably do have physicals.
I can see that nowadays with the type of bucks, but back when I was playing, you just give me a pack of a series of baseball cards. I'll come down there and play.
Right.
Yeah.
One of the coolest things is when you're drafted, they buy you a brand new glove and a brand new pair of spikes and a plane ticket to where you're going to play, and that's usually enough for a kid who's 18. I mean, obviously you sign for a lot smaller bonus than most of these kids do, but the big thing is getting that first professional glove, and that plane ticket for me was to Billings, Montana, out where Clint Eastwood and his boys usually ride on the rim rocks out there.
Strike three, inside corner, Zeal down looking.
Good use of a fastball and well spotted. You see Martinez shift to the inside and boom, right to the glove. Well spotted fastball. Still the best pitch in the game, whether it's early in the count or late in the count to put a hitter away.
You talk about minor leagues. I mean, after you're in the major leagues, you appreciate what it's like to be in the major leagues. The first game I played in the American League after being traded over from the Yankees to the Yankees was right over here on the lake in Municipal Stadium. We drive up in the bus. There's still ice on the lake. It's April. You take the field, no batting practice or anything. So I run out to the field. There's still like line markers from the football game. I'm ready to do a down and out for Brian Sight before the game starts. It was absolutely the worst I've ever seen.
That wasn't a good field in July, let alone April.
Oh, it's terrible. And then the spread. I'll never forget the spread in Municipal Stadium. I mean, some of the spreads in the major leagues are pretty darn good. We walked in there, and at the end of the game, there was a kettle, just a big kettle of hot dogs. Wow. A big kettle of hot dogs and some buns and a cooler of Coke, and that was it. That was enough.
And you thought you were back in the minors?
I thought, man, the National League is head over heels better than the American League. And then we went to Yankee Stadium, and then things
picked up. Right?
Yeah, a little better picture of things.
That's where Joe DiMaggio's hitting streak ended, 1941 in July of 41 at Municipal Stadium, which at different times called Cleveland Stadium.
Mistake on the lake.
Mistake on the lake.
Dog pounds.
And the 3-1. I remember I was a writer when the Yankees used to play in Municipal Stadium, and at the end of the game you'd be in that press box if it was in the middle of the summer, and they'd turn off all the lights in the stadium, and the only lights that were on were in the press box, and there would be unbelievable amounts of flies and moths, and you had to type with your mouth closed.
Was that you or was that everybody?
Oh, it was just me and my smell, yeah. The 3-2 is popped up left field. Giving chase is crisp. Also, Gutierrez, the shortstop, makes the call on the catch. He went a long way for that. Oh, check that. That was the third baseman, Casey Blake. Gutierrez didn't even head back there, so Blake makes the catch for the second out of the inning. Now that gentleman also was at the mistake by the lake, John Adams. And he's the guy who pounds that drum every single day.
Is that John Adams or John Quincy Adams?
I don't know which one it is.
He's been there a long time.
He looks tired. Look at the drumsticks, so he don't even hold them anymore. Might have like an MP3 player out there playing for him now.
Yeah, he's not beating the drum as much as he was when Albert Bell and Alomar and
I hated that
Jim
drum.
Thome.
Hated. Every time a ball went over my head, that stinking drum would start pounding.
They had David Justice and Manny Ramirez. They had some guys get hit over your head.
Oh, there's no doubt. Thome, he was. really hit us well. But he was one of those guys that, you know, you hope you got a big lead because you hope that he got a hold of one before the game was over, and it just didn't hurt you. He was going to swing as hard as he can, and you just wanted to know how far it was going to go when he hit it.
He used to hit him out by those trees in center.
And the 1-1. The amazing thing about the guy out in the outfield, John Adams, who's been here for years, we're not making that up, the Indians actually make him pay for 2 seats. He has to pay for a seat for his drum.
Well, you can't beat that. From an Indian standpoint.
1-2. Well, they don't score as much anymore, so you could say he's banging the drum slowly.
Good book.
Good movie.
Yeah, Robert De Niro, right?
That's right.
Cool.
My uncle was in it too. The 2-2. Chop foul.
Who's your uncle?
Danny Aiello.
Cool.
Yeah, he actually played first base in that movie. He was one of the few people that actually could play. Robert De Niro wasn't a good baseball player, and Michael Moriarty wasn't.
So you know people in movies, you know. Now you're bragging again. Here we go.
But I don't. The biggest person I know is you. I tell people I know Paul
O'Neil.
O'Neil.
Roger Clemens. He was in Adam Sandler's movie. Does that count?
Yeah.
Jeter was in it.
Absolutely. They had good lines. You were on Seinfeld. The 2-2 swung on a miss. There's the change. And Traber looks sharp. A 1-2-3 inning for Billy Traber and the Indians against the Yankees. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning here at the Jacobs Field. It's the Indians 2, the Yankees nothing here on Yes.
Oh, look, it's the guy who falls. Fall now.
Oh, I don't really do that anymore. It's not like I got that insurance.
What insurance?
Aflac. They pay you cash if you can't work when you get hurt. Not that I ever do. Aisle 5 under lingerie.
Price check.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Aflac.
The New York Yankees, the world's most successful sports franchise, are celebrating their historic 100th anniversary in 2003. On Monday, July 21st, the first 18,000 fans, 14 and under, will receive a Charlie Brown Yankees Pez dispenser courtesy of Verizon Wireless. Come out to Yankee Stadium and join in the celebration of 100 years of greatness. Roger Clemens will start in this series, the final game of this series, as he gets some word from Mel Stottlemyre. We go to the bottom of the 4th, and Victor Martinez fouls off Jeff Weaver's first offering.
I mentioned Victor Martinez, up-and-coming young catcher out of Venezuela. He was the MVP of the Eastern League last year while playing for the Cleveland team in Akron.
Lofted to left center field. Coming on, Karim Garcia, one away.
And Akron once again has the best team in the league, Eastern League, this year too. That's some good pitchers.
Well, they say that's how the Indians are going to turn this around, and that's how it's going to be different than it was in the past when they had all that firepower and they never could get a pitcher that could put them over the hump. And this time, this team is going to be built around young pitching. John Hart spent most of his time trying to get pitching and never was able to get that #1 type starter. Pitch to Ricky Gutierrez is a strike.
You know, there's some people who tell you John Hart was really infatuated with the long ball. They had guys that could hit, but they never were able to come up with that one guy that might have put them over the top and won a World Series for him here.
He's living Groundhog's Day then, because that's the same thing he has going in Texas. A great hitting team with no pitching.
Yeah, there's a little difference. I mean, when he was here, they still won. In Texas, you know, we've all seen what's happened down there.
2 away. Let's take a look at that Aflac trivia question. We'll give you the answer in this inning. Billy Traber, the Mets' first-round selection in the 2000 draft, who's the only active player selected in the first round that year, the only other active player. We think he's on Tampa Bay.
Yes, we do.
And we think he's Rocco Baldelli.
And we think he's going to be a very fine player in this league.
I can't say we, but I certainly think he should be on the All-Star team rather than Lance Carter.
Yeah, how'd that happen?
I don't get it.
You know, I was thinking either Aubrey Huff or Rocco Baldelli. One of the two. I could have lived with either one of them.
Well, you look at the bullpen that the American League has and compare it to what the National League is going to close with. John Smoltz, Eric Gagne, Billy Wagner, and even Armando Benitez. And the American League has Shigetoshi Hasegawa and Lance Carter.
So you're telling me that the World Series is going to be home field advantage to the National League? That's what you're telling me?
Well, if it's a close game in the ninth, I'm telling you that.
Yeah, who does the manager choose to close the game?
I don't know. Oh, you mean in the National League?
Oh, yeah.
I think I'd close with Smoltz. He's almost automatic. Although so's Gagne.
So's Billy Wagner. We saw him firsthand throwing 101 miles an hour at the stadium.
I tell you, if I'm hitting, I hope they bring in Schmaltz. At least he's right-handed, and I can see it. That left-hander at 101, that's, as a left-handed hitter, you don't have much of a chance.
Since that no-hitter that Billy Wagner closed, the Yankees are 18-5, so they have turned things around, and so is Jeff Weaver as he strikes out Brandon Phillips for the final out of the inning. So after a rough first inning, Jeff Weaver has really settled down. Nice pitch to Phillips, diving down and away, and we go to the 5th inning, 2-0 Indians.
Commemorate a century of baseball excellence with 100 Years, the official retrospective of the New York Yankees. From Murderers Row of 1927 to the modern dynasties, here is an inimitable portrait of America's team. Just $50 at Yankee Stadium or by calling 1-800-GO-YANKS. Also available at leading retailers nationwide.
Hi everyone, Bob Lorenz in our Yes Studio. This update brought to you by Nissan and your Nissan dealer. Of course, the Red Sox left the Bronx, went up to Toronto, and in the top of the 6th tonight, there it goes. Off the bat of Doug Mirabelli, solo shot off Roy Halladay, ties the game at 1, and they are now in the top of the 10th, all even at 1.
Thank you, Bob. The two teams right behind the Yankees, and that's tied at 1 right here. The Yankees are trailing the Indians 2-0 as we go to the top of the 5th inning, and here's Hideki Matsui to lead off against Billy Traber, who's been impressive so far. Matsui grounded to second. That was in the second. One of the Yankees' 3 all-star representatives.
Well, that's a pretty good curveball. As a left-hander, if you don't know a left-handed pitcher, you pretty much look at his windup and know going in there if you're going to be able to see the ball. Kenny, you didn't go through this, but this is because you're a switch hitter. You can see that ball come all the way from around his body where it's hard to pick up for a left-handed hitter.
Yeah, there's something to be said about being on this side of the plate, facing a breaking ball that's coming this way.
Fouled off the foot of Matsui. Matsui's season turned around, ironically enough, and you could see one of the all-star rookies to start an all-star game, Suzuki, Oliva, Ashburn, Wakefield, and DiMaggio, only 6 of them, which is pretty good. And his season became an all-star season when the Yankees were in Cincinnati at the Great American Ballpark. He was stumbling along. He was dropped low in the order. He just could not do the job. And then it clicked in like that. And he has been one of the hottest hitters in the game since that series at Great American Ballpark.
I think your season turned around there, Michael. You're a different person.
You think so?
A little tub of Grater's ice cream. You've never been the same.
I thought you were calling me a little tub. Jorge Posada deserves a lot of the credit. He noticed that Matsui didn't have his hands in a loaded position back enough. Since that time, Matsui's been a different hitter. There's a ground ball to short and 1 away.
Both of them going to the All-Star game. Posada DHing tonight, has a 6-game hitting streak going. Matsui a 5-gamer. Both had pretty good home stands.
Soriano also going as a starter. None of the Yankee pitchers are going.
I find that hard to believe.
Mariano Rivera obviously not going. And there has been some feeling that just on sentiment alone, Roger Clemens should go. This is his last year. He does lead the American League in strikeouts, but with an 8-6 record. So Yankees deserve some of the blame themselves, though, because half the team did not vote, and they were supposed to vote. And maybe if they had voted, some of those guys would have gotten in. Joe Torre said we only had about 20 minutes to vote, and a lot of people didn't get around to it. That one is lined deep to center field, going back Bradley, and he'll make the play for the 2nd out of the inning. The American League does not have that bad of a starting lineup. Posada behind the plate. Delgado has had a magical first half. Soriano, Troy Gloss, A-Rod. The outfield, Ichiro, Matsui, and Ramirez. And the DH, well, there's none better than Edgar Martinez. The manager of the Angels, Mike Scioscia. Roger Clemens will just spend the 3 days with his family.
You want to talk about keeping things going on in baseball. I mean, you have to acknowledge what he did. I mean, he did something that might not be done for a long time. His 300th win. I mean, it was broadcast all over the place. People knew about it. I mean, Cincinnati people were coming up to me. Did you see Roger Clemens? People want to see Roger Clemens. And we go back to, you know, you want to become, you want to have idols? Well, bring the idols to the forefront. Let the kids watch them. I mean, there's people in Texas growing up right now that want to be Roger Clemens. And he should be at the All-Star game in my mind.
That's line down the left field line. Long run for Crisp, but it's a foul ball. So Flaherty missed his second base hit by a couple feet.
You know, Roger said this is going to be his last year. Why not have him come out in front of the national audience and the All-Star, be on the All-Star team, wave to the crowd, even if he doesn't pitch? I mean, give them their last time to pay him his due for being one of the greatest pitchers of all time. Now, I know, you know, he'll say, you know, I'll take the 3 days. You know, there's a lot of players need a rest in the middle of the season, but the All-Star game is really something special. And if this is his last rodeo, as he says, I think that just would have been a nice gesture.
Starting to rain here in Cleveland, and it's 1 out away from an official game. Some of the fans retreating to get some cover from the rain. And it's now an official game. That breaking ball strikes out Flaherty for the final out of the inning. Another 1-2-3 inning for Billy Traber. He's had 4 of those out of the 5 he's pitched. At the end of 4 1/2, we're halfway through.
Amazing. Explosive. Spectacular. It is time. Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines. Rated R. Now playing.
Well, fans, it's a long-time Yankee tradition. On Thursday, July 17th, we call it Cap Night. The first 25,000 fans in attendance will receive a Yankees cap, courtesy of Verizon. For tickets, visit the stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops. Call Ticketmaster at 212-307-1212. Or log on to Yankees.com. Paul O'Neill's favorite player, Coco Crisp, leads off. He takes a strike.
Crisp was leading the International League in hits, runs scored, triples. Just an all-around exciting ball player at the AAA Buffalo.
Seems like he plays a very crisp game. 1-1. You know, just getting back to the All-Star thing one more time, the thing that confuses me is I don't think that baseball exactly knows what it wants the All-Star game to be, because we keep hearing that this time it counts. Okay, this time it counts. It decides home field advantage in the World Series. This time it counts. The 1-2. Well, if it counts so much, why are you letting the fans choose the lineup? Now, the World Series really counts. You're going to let the fans choose the lineup in the World Series? If it really counts, then take the best team that's out there to win. Now, if it really doesn't count and you want the fans to be involved, then a player like Roger Clemens should be part of it, because you want to highlight your history. And a player like Rocco Baldelli and Dontrelle Willis, they should be a part of it, because you want to highlight the great young players in the game. But you're getting kind of betwixt and between. What do you want to be?
Yeah.
Wow, Michael.
I'm fired up about
you
that.
Are. I'll tell you one thing, I'm going to watch that game. I don't want Michael banned at me.
Line drive right at Zeal. 1 away.
And one other thing. Do you think they should have a player from each team?
No. Not if it counts.
Not if it, yeah, I agree with you there. You know, I think it's nice for fans to see a player from their city, a major league city, but if it counts, and it counts for your league, I think you want the best guys out there.
Pitch to Matt Lawton is a little low. Now, I don't want to pile on Lance Carter, the closer for the Devil Rays. That's my intent. That's not my intent. But if it counts, doesn't the American League have a better chance having either Mariano Rivera or Troy Percival closing the game?
Yeah.
And using that roster spot?
So we'll just go to representatives. We'll bring the strength coaches in, the assistant coaches, you know, just somebody from your team. Doesn't have to be a player. We even send a couple fans from Tampa Bay down.
Huh? Give them a free trip to Chicago.
Exactly.
Right? 1-1. Driven deep to right field. Fair, it's gone. It is a foul ball.
That's a breaking ball that hung a little bit up in Lawton's eyes, and he thought he might have had one. Paul, you know how this feels. You pull one down the line, you hit it pretty well.
Oh, you talk to it.
Oh, you're leaning left at home plate.
He's
after
posing.
you hit it.
He knew he hit this one.
Watch it. You hit it, you kind of lean a little to the left, but the ball goes right.
Never understood what that lean, and everybody does it. Every player that hits a ball down the line starts leaning one way or the other like it's going to help or something.
Well, it helped Carlton Fisk.
It did?
In 75, he leaned it into a home run.
Okay. Wish I'd had all to do over again. I'd lean a little bit more on some of those.
One of the funniest things I've ever seen in baseball. You guys know Rick Dempsey. He hit a ball in Milwaukee like that one. He thought it was a fair ball. He ran all the way around the bases.
Ooh.
Got the home plate. The umpire said it was a foul ball, and you could see the air come out of his body. He struck out on the next pitch.
And Lawton strikes out on that pitch.
He came back to the dugout, and the first words out of his mouth, he says, "Now I wonder why Rip Sr. didn't shake my hand." The third base coach all the way around.
There's nothing worse than that, Ken, if you think about it. I mean, there's been at-bats where you've hit 2 balls out, just foul. And you actually have to step out and get that out of your mind and get back to an at-bat, because, you know, you have that instant right off the bat where, you know, you've just hit a home run, and all of a sudden it hooks foul. And then reality sets in that, you know, you're 0-2, you're still in the box.
Yeah, but you didn't run all the way around the bases, did you?
No.
That was embarrassing.
Here's Milton Bradley. We just saw a shot of Mike Messina, and yesterday, Jason Varitek hit one into the upper deck at Yankee Stadium, fair or foul. Varitek's leaning one way, Messina's leaning the other. And boy, the baseball gods are at odds right there. It ended up being a foul ball. That's a ground ball to Giambi. Steps on first, and that'll do it. So a 1-2-3 inning for Jeff Weaver. He has retired 7 in a row. We played 5 here at Jacobs Field. It's the Indians 2 and the Yankees nothing.
Attention sports fans, this baseball season marks the 100th anniversary of the greatest team in history, the New York Yankees. To celebrate this ball club's birthday, we're bringing you a song especially commissioned to commemorate the event. Here's to the Yanks. This loving musical tribute to the Bronx Bombers will stay in your heart forever. All the greats are here. The Babe, the Mick, Jolton Joe, Roger Clemens, Jason Giambi, Derek Jeter, and more. Add it to your CD collection. Play it before each game or at Yankee get-togethers. Your limited edition CD comes with this valuable poster of all-time top Yankee stats. What a collector's item. You'll also receive these other nostalgic Big Apple classics. Order now and receive absolutely free Anthems of 9/11, songs to inspire your love of America, including the new Repledging Our Allegiance. Let's repledge our allegiance. To order Here's to the Yanks and your bonus gifts, call or send $19.95 plus shipping and handling today.
America's first network for men.
It's America's first network for men.
America's first network for men.
America's first network for men.
I love Stripperella.
I am Stripperella.
Dred and Stimpy. Gary the Rat.
Stripperella.
Every Thursday night starting at 10.
I like Most Extreme Elimination Challenge.
She takes a hard one. Ouch!
America's first network for men.
On an all-new Yankeeography, the story of big game pitcher Catfish Hunter.
The good old boy who happened to be the standard for greatness in the game at the time.
Yankeeography Catfish Hunter premieres Saturday at 7:30 only on Yes.
We go to the 6th inning. Beginning of the game was held up by about an hour because of thunderstorms here in the Cleveland area, but we picked it up and there's been no delay as of now. It started to rain a little bit in the previous inning, but it seems to have subsided. Yankees are trailing 2-0, and Billy Traber, the rookie left-hander, has done a very, very nice job. He will face 8, 9, and 1 in the Yankee order, starting with Karim Garcia. And the pitch is inside.
Well, he talked about Garcia's second half last year with the Cleveland Indians. I think after August 6th, he drove in more runs than anybody in the league. And I talked to his former hitting coach, Eddie Murray, about Garcia prior to the game. And briefly, what I've seen of him, it looks like he's a pretty good low ball hitter. But Eddie Murray said, nah, he's a pretty good high ball hitter, too. If you make a mistake in the middle of the plate, And if he doesn't try and get pull conscious, he's really going to help the Yankees. And we saw the other day, it was yesterday, hit a ground ball through the middle for a base hit, big base hit, that eventually helped the Yankees win.
There's a soft ground ball to second base. Brandon Phillips fires off balance. 1 away. In this ballpark, Game 5 of the 1997 Division Series, Paul O'Neil with 2 outs in the 9th inning hits this ball to right center field. And Paul, then you almost dislocated every part of your body getting in here.
But Kenny, look, you mentioned there's the gray dirt.
There's the gray dirt, and we'll see it right here.
That's what stinks about being a line drive hitter, man. They never get out of the park.
You know what, though? I appreciate the hustle, Paulie, and I'm sure all the Yankee fans who are watching this can remember those days when Paul O'Neil was sliding into second, head first with doubles, and headed for third. And you know, every once in a while, one would go out of the park. Yeah.
You know what I always wanted to ask you about that play. If you're thrown out at second base, the season is over. What's going through your head between first and second base?
Well, I mean, I think you always try to take the extra base. I mean, a perfect throw is going to get you, sure, but how often do you see a perfect throw? I mean, you're going to score a lot easier from second base than with 2 outs in the 9th with Jose Mesa pitching than you are just holding off at first and wondering if you would have been safe.
Almonte down on strikes. Did you ever consider what you would have felt like if you were thrown out and the season ended on that play? I mean, that wasn't just any 9th inning.
No, as I look back at that, I mean, the play was fun to look back, but that was probably as disappointed as I have been in my whole career because, you know, 2 minutes later the season was over.
Right.
And you know, we had won the World Series in '96 and we were expected to go back, or you know, it was a very frustrating time because I felt like we were a better team there, and we ended up going home.
That was the only blip in that run for the Yankees. Enrique Wilson lost one to left field. Coco Crisp is there, and that will do it. A 1-2-3. Did you get hurt on that slide, Paul?
And that's so long ago, Michael. Who knows?
We go to the bottom of the 6th. 2-0 Indians.
The New York Yankees, the world's most successful sports franchise, are celebrating their historic 100th anniversary in 2003. On Friday, July 18th, the first 18,000 fans in attendance will receive a Bernie Williams CD with selections from his album, The Journey Within. This is courtesy of Kraft and Nabisco. Come out to Yankee Stadium and join in the celebration of 100 years of greatness.
We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Indians lead the Yankees 2-0. And Jody Garrett will lead off against Jeff Weaver, who has settled down after a rocky first inning, which is his modus operandi so far this year.
Wow. His what?
That's what he does a lot. M.O., stuff like that.
You see that on the detective shows.
The 0-1 pitch. Hit sharply to the second baseman, Wilson. He throws to first, 1 away. Hey, the Staten Island Yankees are going to retire the uniform number of New York Yankees pitcher Jason Anderson prior to their 7:15 game on Monday, July 14th. That's at the Richmond County Ballpark at St. George. Jason is the first Staten Island Yankees alumnus to make the New York Yankees, and that's why they're retiring the number. Don't miss out on this event. For tickets, call 718-720-9200 or visit the Staten Island Yankees box office. So number 19 will never be worn again by a Staten Island Yankee. Casey Blake singles up the middle. Now, you've been there, right, Kenny? I heard that ballpark is really beautiful.
It is, and I also understand that the number 19 will be affixed to one of the outfield walls there. So quite an honor for Jason, who kind of moved right up the Yankee farm system and quickly, but he's got a great arm. I think he's going to be an excellent pitcher.
So 1 on, 1 out. Here's Ben Broussard. Broussard 1 for 2. Broussard probably suffers some slings and arrows in the clubhouse because he was a nursing major at McNeese State with a 3.4 grade point average.
How's that guy go in the training room, huh?
Well, he could
probably knows what's going on.
Yeah, he can treat his own injuries. Cleveland got him in exchange for Russell Branyan. Remember, Branyan was a big-time prospect, but I think Cleveland got tired of Branyan striking out, and they traded him to Cincinnati and got Broussard.
Broussard's nickname with his team is Hobbs. Runner goes, pitches outside. The throw to second is John Flaherty's 2 for 2 throwing out base runners.
Boy, what a great pitch to throw on. This was almost a pitch out unintentionally, but I tell you what, Flaherty's, we'll go over it again, defensively so sound, and even when you don't play, the extra work when you get an opportunity to come out. I mean, right here, a great pitch to throw on, and this isn't even close.
I mean, Gary Tuck certainly appreciates it. You're right. When he doesn't play all that much, but the work he puts in when he's not going to play that night, certainly paying off. I mean, he called a great game yesterday with Mike Messina. Gets to play on successive nights, which is unusual for him, and comes out throwing strikes to second. That was a fastball. The previous one was a curve.
Popped up left side, and that'll be on the dugout roof.
There's Gary Tuck, the Yankee catching instructor. Yeah, he's...
Gary Tuck will sit out in the bullpen with a digital watch and actually know the times. I mean, it'd be 1-5, 1-4, whatever, to get rid of the ball and get it down to second, and know whether whether you should get quicker or whether you're right where you need to be.
Popped up left field toward the line. Garcia is there. Wynn takes it just a little bit. He stays with it for the final out of the inning. So Hobbs, named after Roy Hobbs of the Natural, doesn't do the job, but John Flaherty does. No runs a hit, nobody left.
Well, if you can see into tomorrow night, you will see the Yankees on Yes as they battle the Indians in Game 2 from here in Cleveland. Complete coverage begins at 6:30 with Fred Hickman and the Yankees pregame. Then join Paul O'Neil, Michael Kay, and me as we call the action beginning at 7. Yankees versus Indians tomorrow night starting at 6:30 only on Yes. Can he tell us who's going to win the game?
Well, today, Billy Traber has been unbelievable. A lot of Yankee fans here in Cleveland. And the pitch to Todd Zeile is a strike. Traber's been impressive, changing speeds. People selling hot dogs as he's changing speeds, hitting the corners, and he seems in control out there. He really does. That one's off the plate. Grabbed there by Victor Martinez. Nice play, and he'll gun down Zeile. One away.
Did Zeile hesitate?
Yeah, I think he was hoping that umpire thought it hit off the foot. You know, sometimes you can limp around in there and convince that umpire that that's a foul ball, but this ball went off the plate clearly.
Yep, Zeile does hesitate, and Martinez doesn't. Is he baby-faced or what? I mean, he looks like he's about 15 years old. Speaking of Martinez, as Zeile is thrown out at first base. Now, you can't see him now. He's got the mask on, but I don't think he's shaved very long. Let's put it that way.
Here's Giambi. What's Traber doing so well?
I've watched him pitch to the left-handed hitters because obviously that's what I like to watch. And what he's done is bust the left-handed hitters in early in the count, early in the game, make them aware that he'll throw that pitch inside. Giambi grounds out to first, and then that opens up the outside part of the plate for you. And it doesn't always take a strike inside to let the hitter know that you're willing to come in there and throw strikes. There's nothing better as a hitter to know that a pitcher is going to throw outside every pitch, or he's going to throw inside every pitch. If you move the ball around, obviously get him off the plate, it just makes it a tougher guy to hit when you know he'll come in on you.
In other words, he's pitching to lanes, and he's kept the ball out of the middle of the plate pretty well, but he's pitching to the inner lane, and then so he can go to the outer lane. It's like you're driving down a highway, and there's 3-lane highway. You stay out of the middle lane as a pitcher, and you work on either side.
It's the Posadas outside, so how do you hit this guy? What's the approach have to be against a guy of this type?
Well, I don't think he's going to overpower you. I think you still continue to stay out over the plate and you know, get in a hitter's count. Obviously, he's been throwing pretty good strikes and he's had pretty good movement. But you know, for the lefties to realize that possibly he's coming in with balls, he's not going to throw the strike there, and to continue to look out over the plate. And sometimes that's easier said than done.
First of all, you got to get some men on base. The Yankees have only had one man on in this game. Make him work out of the stretch. See how he can do from there.
A lot of people don't realize how different that is. You know, you'll say in the dugout joking, let's see how this guy throws from the stretch. And the guy can be dealing out there and all of a sudden have to go into the stretch. And it's a little different thing. He has to hesitate, worry about the runners. You know, they can have a meltdown out there. But, again, you have to get some guys on and put him in the stretch and see if you can get to him.
Well, he's had 1, 2, 3 innings in every inning but the third. The only hit by the Yankees. John Flaherty single through the left side. That's the only time he pitched out of the stretch the entire game. Every other inning has been 1, 2, 3. So he's pitching a one-hitter against the first-place Yankees. And the 3-1 is popped up. Behind the plate, Victor Martinez giving it a look. He has room, and he puts it away for the final out of the inning. And Billy Traber continuing to deal. 1, 2, 3. He gets the Yankees at the end of 6.5. Get up and stretch. Yankees 2, Indians nothing.
The perfect machine has met the perfect match.
Excuse me, I'll drive.
Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines.
We need a new vehicle.
Rated R, now playing.
Hi, everyone. Bob Lorenz back in our Yes Studio. This update brought to you by your Tri-State Quality Ford store. Let's get you caught up to speed on the Red Sox and Blue Jays. Top of the 10th, bases loaded. Red Sox had a chance to go ahead, but Trot Nixon lined right out to Vernon Wells for the inning-ending out. Red Sox retired Toronto in their half of the 10th, so they're now headed to the top of the 11th inning, all even at 1. We'll update you on the postgame show, but for now, let's get back to the Jays.
Thank you, Bob. The interesting thing about baseball is you know that the Blue Jays and the Red Sox are watching this score as well. This kid's the slowest eater of all time. He's had that hot dog for 2 innings. He is savoring it.
You talk about eating. Ken, I just walked to the back of the room. I brought in a chocolate chip cookie earlier in the night.
That looked like a hubcap.
Basically the size of a Domino's pizza. You've nickeled and dimed it. I just went, there's one bite left. Just finish it. Get it over with.
That's not me. Some other people also attacked it.
Oh, my God.
Attack.
2-0 Indians lead the Yankees. And the pitch to Martinez is a strike. Well, you have to be impressed with young Billy Traber, and the Yankees have to be impressed as well because rookie pitchers against the Yankees this year, they're 0-7. So Traber's trying to do something against them that no rookie has done yet this year. There's a ground ball to second base. Enrique Wilson there. 1 away. Time now to take a look at the in-game box score sponsored by Visa. It's everywhere you want to be for the Indians. Crisp 1 for 3. Matt Lawton scored a run. Milton Bradley's 0 for 3. Jody Garrett 1 for 3. A ribby and a run scored. Casey Blake 2 for 3. RBI, and that's the scoring right there. Broussard picked up a hit, and the bottom of the order has yet to get on base. And together they are 0 for 3, the final 3 in that order. So Jeff Weaver's pitched beautifully, but sometimes you have a bad first inning and you lose the game because of it. There's a breaking ball strike to Gutierrez.
You know what's funny is yesterday you face Pedro Martinez and he shuts you down to a 1 run, and then all of a sudden you think, well, that's Pedro Martinez. Then you walk into Cleveland and you say, how can this young kid shut us down? But if you look at it, and Kenny, we've looked at a lot of his pitches, he hasn't made any mistakes. He's had a pretty good curveball. He's moved his fastball around, and all of a sudden he's thrown, he's shutting him down.
Nice play by Enrique Wilson, hauling it in for the second out of the inning. And I think he stayed in bounds.
If we were in Municipal Stadium with those lines still painted on the field, you'd know if he was in bounds.
Nice catch. 2 away.
I'll tell you what, Enrique's a valuable member of the Yankees. He can play second, short, third. Yesterday he came up with 2 doubles in a game that he didn't start. Former Cleveland Indian.
Line drive just over the leaping try of Todd Zeile and down the left field line. Garcia fields, and he is going to hold Phillips to a single. Garcia is very good at that. He did that yesterday against the Red Sox. He gets into the corner and cuts the ball off, and he saves extra base hits.
I think back to the game in Baltimore where Brooke Fordyce, the catcher, hit a ball to the wall, and Karim Garcia threw him out from deep left field. He does have a strong throwing arm. You can see Brandon Phillips retreating to first base. There's the ball just beyond the reach of Zeile, but he hadn't even appeared in the picture. Here he comes. Spin move and throw. And right there.
Yeah, the key to that play being a left-hander going to the line. is to be able to reverse pivot and throw back. If you round off that ball, like a lot of kids, you see in Little League and high school baseball, there's no way you have enough time to throw that guy out at second. By practicing that play and reverse pivoting and throwing against your body on the other way, then you get rid of the ball real quick.
So you have to head in a straight line to the ball rather than circulate.
And you have to know exactly when you get to the ball which way you're going to pivot. You don't round the ball off and come all the way around it. I mean, looking at this ball, boom, you step and just throw. You actually have a blind spot. You're just throwing it, and you just hope that thing ends up at second base sometime.
The 0-1. Driven out to left center field. Could be trouble. On the run is Matsui. Makes the catch for the final out of the inning. Good jump by Matsui, and he hauled it in to end the bottom of the 7th inning. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We've played 7 very interesting innings here in Jacobs Field. It's the Indians 2 and the Yankees nothing. You're watching Yankees baseball on the Yes Network.
Days Sports Talk with the best of Mike and the Mad Dog. It's a 1-hour version of the area's #1 rated sports talk show featuring the hottest topics, maddest moments, and most in-depth interviews. The best of Mike and the Mad Dog after the postgame only on Yes.
Top of the 8th inning, Indians lead the Yankees 2-0 in the day. About 5 years in a row, the Indians sold out every single game. 455 straight sellouts. Tonight, the attendance, 26,540. So as the Indians rebuild, the fans say, we'll wait. Here's Hideki Matsui against Billy Traber. Ground ball to second base. Brandon Phillips, 1 away.
We're going to look at the strikeouts. Jason Giambi, Todd Zeal frozen. Jorge Posada on a breaking ball. John Flaherty on a good slow hook. Eric Almonte might have been a splitter. 5 strikeouts, all swinging. Or make that 4 of the 5 swinging for Billy Traber.
Here's Ruben Sierra. Billy Traber is now with 7 1/3 innings past his career high for innings pitched in a game. A little bit low.
And you go back to the fans. We were talking about 455 sellouts, and I'm telling you, these were the rowdiest, nastiest fans to walk in and play in front of. Now it seems so laid back. They're just out here to watch a game. But boy, during those years we were fighting Cleveland, looking at Boomer, he was one of the guys that was, I mean, he was ready to go after somebody. I mean, they personally got on to his mother and things like that. It was just a nasty, nasty crowd. And all of a sudden, you look out now, and like I said, it's just a summertime ball game here in Cleveland, Ohio.
Nub slowly, right side of the mound. Grabbed there by Traber. He flips to Broussard. 2 away. Let's take a look at the Yankees in-game box score, sponsored by our good friends at Visa. It's everywhere you want to be, and there's a lot of zeros there. Only 1 hit. John Flaherty, 1 for 2. The 5 strikeouts, everybody else has not picked up a hit against Billy Traber. And the only hit, Flaherty leading off the 3rd inning, it was a clean single through the left side of the infield. It wasn't hit very hard, but it was placed perfectly, and that is it. That's the Yankees' only base hit. He has not walked a batter.
There's only been 2 fly balls to the outfield, one by Sierra to center and one by Enrique Wilson to left. So the Yankees have only gotten the ball to the outfield twice in the game.
Yeah, there's some games you can look up at the scoreboard and say, you know, we got 1 hit, but boy, we're hitting the ball hard, hitting them right at him. This isn't one of those games. He has just absolutely shut down the Yankees tonight.
Only 90 pitches for Traber. Now the longest outing Traber's had this year, 7 innings against the Reds. And he gave up 5 hits and did not allow a run. His last time out, just 2 2/3, he gave up 11 hits and 7 runs against the Kansas City Royals. That was on July 2nd, so he has bounced back big time against the Yankees. Look at the ratio, 59 strikes, 32 balls, 91 pitches overall. Crowd standing, looking for the strikeout, the 0-2. It's driven out to left center field. Giving chase is Milton Bradley. On the run, he's there, and he makes the play on the back pedal right in front of the warning track for the final out of the inning. And Billy Traber jogs off the mound and gets a high five from his catcher. What a performance by Traber, who has retired 18 in a row.
Just another day with Mike Lowry.
Hey, don't hate the player, hate the game.
Ain't nobody getting away from me today. It's just raining Chevys, Mike.
From producer Jerry Bruckheimer and director Michael Bay.
We just want to talk. You want to talk? Well, go ahead. They can't hear you because they're still shooting at you.
Bad Boys 2, rated R, in theaters July 18th.
The New York Yankees, the world's most successful sports franchise, are celebrating their historic 100th anniversary in 2003. On Thursday afternoon, July 24th, all fans 14 and under are going to receive a 100th anniversary t-shirt courtesy of Majestic Athletic. Come out to Yankee Stadium and join in the celebration of 100 years of greatness. Hey, Yankee fans, for the latest news, player updates, Yankee merchandise, and all your ticket needs, visit Yankees.com, the official site of the New York Yankees. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and the story has been Billy Traber against the Yankee offense. And you have to admire that kind of pitching if that's what you do for a living. And Jeff Weaver gives up a long fly ball to Matt Lawton, deep to center. See ya! A home run for Lawton, and the Indians extend the lead to 3-0.
You know, you want to trade a guy, Kenny. The best way to do it is if he gets hot and starts hitting home runs, huh?
Well, Lawton leads the Indians in home runs. That's his 15th of the year, and he picked on a pitch. I bet you it's not anywhere near the target. He kind of went out and got it, drove it to straightaway center. He's been hot of late.
Pitch to Milton Bradley. Low and inside.
8 home runs in his last 19 games. So he's on a home run tear, and you're right. He might be hitting his way out of town.
Making that 95-year-old lady very happy.
Yeah.
You know, I saw those fireworks there. I was in Cincinnati going to the big fireworks show. I'm out there already. The thunderstorms we get in the Midwest have just been unbelievable.
Ground ball to second. Wilson's there. One away.
So you're sitting there with your 3 kids. You're on the blanket, you know, just like you're supposed to do. Downpour, wind, rain, everything. You had to walk 2 miles in the rain, no fireworks, no nothing. So I was just glad I got to see a firework before the week was over.
And look, you're all dry now, too.
Yeah, that's right.
What'd your kids think of it?
Oh, they, you know, you tell them, well, they'll do them next week or something like
next
that.
year, yeah.
Next year, that's right.
Matt Lawton's home run, 417 feet. Here's Jody Garrett, and there's a strike. You can't really find that much fault with the way Jeff Weaver's pitched. You try to not to compare it with Billy Traber, but Weaver's done a pretty nice job. There's a line drive to right field on the run. Sierra, 2 away. He had that rough first inning and then the home run to Matt Lawton. That's it. Otherwise, he's pitched a very efficient baseball game. But he's run up against the guy who's given up just 1 hit.
That shows you the difference at one start to the next. He gave up 3 runs in the last game, was a winner against the Mets.
And we talked about earlier how this was pretty much a hitter's park. They've had good hitters in the past, and one of the reasons is looking out at center field here. It's an open air stadium, probably has the largest flag in the major leagues. You look out there, you could always tell which way the wind was blowing, and it's blowing out tonight, and that ball will carry anywhere from right center to dead center, which will help that ball get out of here.
Swing and a miss by Blake, 1-1. Cheaters all dressed up with no place to go. Not in the lineup today with that bad right hand. Hit in the first inning by Pedro Martinez yesterday.
How can Derek Jeter have no place to go?
I meant on the field.
With his visa, you know, he's got the town by the tail, right?
Doing that little dance with the ball.
What is that dance?
It's a conga dance, a conga line.
Was that George doing that dance, or was that a double? You tell me.
I think that was George Steinbrenner.
Really?
He doesn't need a double for dancing.
You can do it all, right?
I guess. That is a very funny commercial.
Oh, I thought it was great, too.
Jeter never says a word in the commercial. Just holds up the Visa card.
Sequels can be good, too.
Oh, there's going to be a sequel?
I would think so.
The 1-2. Hit sharply, base hit to left field. Casey Blake with his third base hit of the night.
Yeah, he's been red hot. We mentioned the American League Player of the Week. 3-time All-American at Wichita State, but you can't throw him a pitch in that area right now. You know, maybe a week from now when he's not so hot, he'll foul this pitch back and wish he would have hit it. But right now, you hang a breaking ball right there, he's going to scorch it and picks up his third hit. He is just locked in right now.
So amazing when you're hitting the ball well and you have confidence. You never hit a ball at anybody. If you hit the ball, it's in a hole. You know going into the box you're going to hit it hard somewhere. And all of a sudden you look out there and they're trying to run it down and you're running the bases. It's a great feeling.
Well, Joe Torre did not want to take out Weaver, but he wants to hold the game right here at 3-0, give his team a chance to come back. So with Broussard coming up, he goes to the left-hander, Chris Hammond. Jeff Weaver, not a bad start, but he leaves trailing 3-0. Stay right here on Yes. Well, the Yankees go to Chris Hammond, and Joe Torre has to make the singular call to the bullpen. Singular, the wireless company that fits you best. Well, he struggled in the first. He gave up the home run to Lawton, then the single to Blake. Let's review. Good or bad start for Jeff Weaver?
Well, I think he threw the ball consistently well. I think that, you know, he had an opportunity to get out of the first inning with nothing. I think that, you know, if you have to pump Jeff Weaver up right now. If you're Mel Stoudemire and Joe Torre, you say, this is what you did good tonight. You threw, you know, 7 great innings for us, and you gave up a home run in the 8th, and you're tired. I want to get to Chris Hammond, but you threw a good quality game for us. On the other hand, yeah, you know, Weaver goes home thinking, you know, I lost again at this point, and that's frustrating for a pitcher.
Saw the numbers on Hammond. He has become a very reliable pitcher out of the bullpen for Joe Torre, and he will face the left-hander Ben Broussard.
You know, I certainly think he pitched well enough to, you know, he's going to start again in 5 days. I mean, when his turn comes, he's going to get another start because he had that type of outing. 3 runs in this day and age, if you have an ERA of 3, you're among the league leaders. Or after 7 2/3, maybe just over 3, but the fact is that he did a good job tonight.
The 0-1.
And I still think back to that call on Matt Lawton in the first inning in which it was not called strike 3. And we saw Joe Torre's looking at home plate umpire Andy Fletcher, and that kind of led. It's kind of snowballed from there in the first inning.
See the numbers: 7 2/3, 8 hits, 3 runs, a walk, 4 strikeouts. Also remember the 3rd inning when he had to throw all those extra pitches because of 2 errors and 1 missed double play. Maybe he works through a scoreless 8th inning if he doesn't have to throw those pitches. A lot of ifs and maybes and could-haves and should-haves, but it was not a terrible outing for Jeff Weaver, and Jeff Weaver is pitching now with the specter of young Brandon Clausen over his shoulder.
And that walk, by the way, was the lone walk that he gave up in the game, and unfortunately it came around to score.
1-2. Line drive to right field. That'll fall in front of Sierra for a base hit. Casey Blake stops at second. A base hit for Broussard. That's his 2nd of the night. And the Indians have runners on 1st and 2nd, 2 men out.
The reason why he's smiling at first base, Broussard, because he got a pitch right up in his eyes. And with 2 strikes, he was able to put it in play. Hammond knows he didn't make a good pitch.
Yeah, as good as his changeup is, even when it's that high, as a hitter, you see the ball so much better up there that you know you'll make an adjustment.
I think Broussard is also thinking, well, I got to hit off a lefty.
That's always a challenge as a left-handed hitter. I mean, the game has changed so much that you have to produce immediately off lefties, or you're a platoon player.
Victor Martinez lines one to left field. That's a base hit. Here comes Blake around 3rd. The throw by Garcia is not in time. Good strong throw, but Blake running on the crack of the bat scores, and the Indians lead 4-0.
You know, I'd say I haven't seen Garcia play that much. I played against him a few times, but he's got an impressive arm, and he got rid of this ball. And the only reason he didn't throw this guy out is because there's 2 outs. The guy immediately on the crack of the bat is running, whereas an outfielder, you don't have much of a chance to throw him out. This is a great throw. Boom, immediately. I mean, you're not wondering whether it's going to drop. There's 2 outs. You're going on the crack of the bat, and it takes a lot away from the outfielder.
Well, that run is charged to Jeff Weaver.
His night is now over. officially, statistically, and the pitch to Ricky Gutierrez is a strike. So Victor Martinez picks up his 3rd RBI of the season, 1st of the night. And the Indians have a comfortable 4-0 lead. The 0-1 popped up, out of play behind the plate. And Billy Traber wants to get back out on the mound. There's nobody warming for the Indians in their bullpen. For the Yankees, Al Reyes. Grounded to 3rd. Zeal fields, touches up, forces Broussard at 3rd for the final out of the inning. But 2 big insurance runs for the Cleveland Indians. 2 runs, 4 hits, 2 left. We go to the 9th. Last licks for the Yankees. 4-0 Indians. Well, we go to the 9th inning. The Indians lead the Yankees 4-0. A little bit of a surprise here against Billy Traber. Karim Garcia is due up, but Garcia is not coming to the plate. Instead, a pinch hitter, Derek Jeter, announced to the crowd, and the crowd of just over 26,000 booing the Yankee captain.
Those are those fans I was talking about earlier, Michael. See, they were just waiting for one of the guys from the old days to come back. You don't see this very often, even in the the visiting cities. Derek Jeter's pretty people come to see him.
Well, Joe Torre's trying to ignite something here in the 9th inning. Anything against Traber, who has retired 18 in a row. Only 1 base hit by John Flaherty leading off the 3rd. So Jeter pinch hits for Garcia. Garcia was 0 for 2 against Traber. And the 23-year-old lefty deals. There's a strike. So Jeter's right hand must be feeling okay. He took BP and then cut it short when there was pain in the hand, but here he is in the 9th inning pinch hitting.
He might have had just as much trouble throwing the ball from shortstop as he is hitting, and that might be one of the reasons he's not playing.
All the Yankees are on the top step watching this. Jeter's only pinch hit once before in his career and struck out. The 1-1. Driven to center field, coming on Milton Bradley, and he makes a nice running catch at right center for the 1st out of the inning.
So, Kenny, did you see where he caught that ball?
Yeah, he must have been positioned. You know, part of the reason you make good plays in the outfield because you're in the right place to begin with. You're playing Derek Jeter towards right center, and Milton Bradley coasts on over and makes the play.
Well, Jeter couldn't believe where he was playing because as he walked back to the dugout, he was looking over his shoulders as if to say, why were you there?
Most of the time as a hitter, when you hit a ball, you have a good sense of whether it's going to drop or not. And I don't think you got a good look at that on TV or where that ball was not far over the second baseman's head, out a little bit, but out in the right field gap, and he made an easy play.
Here's Eric Almonte, who's 0 for 2, and Traber throws him a first pitch strike. Here's the 0-1. Grounded to short. Gutierrez across the diamond, and the Indians are 1 out away from a shutout of the Yankees. Billy Traber has been outstanding.
Oh, now we got to hear the drum. Now we're hoping for a rally.
Traber has retired 20 Yankees in a row. Looks like an infielder. Now he's ready. Here's Enrique Wilson. And that's why he's been successful tonight. He's ahead in the count all the time. First pitch strikes. Wilson grounded to 3rd, popped to 2nd, and fly to left. 4-0 Indians, top of the 9th inning. Breaking ball, backdoor variety, strike 2. This will be Traber's 100th pitch of the night. Indian fans, not much to cheer about as this team rebuilds. They have it tonight, though. one of their building blocks, Billy Traber. And the 0-2 upstairs. Rookie manager Eric Wedge. Rookie pitcher Billy Traber. And the 1-2. 2-2.
Tried to get Enrique Wilson to chase a high one and a low one. Now his count's gone to 2-2. You would expect his next one to be somewhere in between.
Good ratio, 66 strikes, 35 out of the zone.
After this challenge, Kenny, to never make the last out of the game when you're up there, especially on their way. You know, you don't want to give these fans something to cheer about.
Ground ball to third. This should do it. Glove there by Blake across the diamond. And that will do it. A 4-0 Indians win. Billy Traber was absolutely brilliant. He retired the last 24 in a row. He pitched a complete game, one-hit shutout, the first complete game of his career, and that was an impressive outing for the Indians and Traber. The Yankees got one hit, and that was by John Flaherty leading off the third inning. And that is it, a clean single through the left side of the infield as the Indians win the first game of this 3-game set. We'll come back, we'll break it down even further, then wrap it up. Indians beat the Yankees 4-0. Well, the Yankees lose to the Indians 4-0. The Yankees actually were 11-4 in series openers on the road this year, matching Seattle for the best such record in the majors. Now they drop to 11-5. The player of the game brought to you by Saab. Welcome to a state of independence. This one's not hard to figure out.
Now it's going to be Billy Traber. What a performance tonight. His first major league shutout. 9 strong innings, only 1 hit, 5 strikeouts, no walks. Yankees only had 1 base runner, a single by John Flaherty leading off the third inning. Billy Traber, our Saab player of the game.
He did some job, and that's why he won the Saab player of the game. Let's take a look at the totals. 0-1-2 for the Yankees. They just left 1 runner on base. Indians 4-10-0. Traber goes to 4-5. Weaver drops to 4-7. And the time of the game, an incredibly manageable 2 hours and 11 minutes. Traber, 9 innings pitched, 1 hit, did not allow a run, struck out 5, and most importantly, he did not walk a batter. And Matt Lawton hit a home run for the Indians. Well, it's time to look at the play of the game. Brought to you by Continental Airlines, the official airline of the New York Yankees. Continental Airlines, work hard, fly right.
Well, actually, they turned out to be the plays of the game, and John Flaherty, the Yankee catcher, makes 2 excellent throws a second to throw out attempted steals by the Indians. That's going to be our Continental Airlines plays of the game.
Well, the Yankees had some high moments. The 2 throws by Flaherty. Jeff Weaver did a pretty nice job, but he gets another loss. He'll obviously start on Sunday against the Blue Jays, but Billy Traber, the story of this game, he just did the job that he was supposed to do and shut down the Yankees completely. Coming up on the Yes Network, the Nissan New York Yankees postgame with Bob Lorenz and Susan Waldman, featuring complete analysis of tonight's game. Special thanks to our producer, Kevin Smolin, director John Moore, and executive producer John Filippelli. Join us again tomorrow for Yankees baseball as the Bombers take on the Indians here at Jacobs Field in Cleveland. The action gets underway at 6:30 with the New York Yankees pregame show. For more on the Yes Network, all you have to do is get a computer and log on to yesnetwork.com. For Ken Singleton and Paul O'Neil, I'm Michael Kay saying see ya from the Jake. Once again, the final score, the Cleveland Indians 4 and the New York Yankees 0. Now, let's go to Bob Lorenz in our studio.